Hey everybody, I'm C. Andrew Nelson, founder of Aquatasy. What's this? A new tank? What's this? Another new tank? Stay tuned. So many of you have said to me, Andrew, we love the comedy videos and the teaching videos and all the effects and animation that you do, but what we really want to see is just a plain old update video. Okay, nobody said that to me, but I'm making an update video anyway because I actually have stuff to update you about. As you saw at the top of this video, there are two new tanks in this house. One in my son's room and one in my daughter's room. A few months back, I found somebody on Craigslist who was giving away practically brand new tanks. A 20-gallon tall and also a 28-gallon bow front with a matching stand. And since my son came with me to go pick them up, he of course immediately claimed the 28 for himself. We set up the tanks in early June of this year. My son decided he wanted goldfish. My daughter set her heart upon getting African dwarf frogs and coolie loaches, which, by the way, is a terrific combination. Very compatible with each other. My son had zero interest in trying to design a scape for his tank. He just said to make it look like mine, so his tank has the same general layout. I purchased some stones from a local rock and soil company and was able to handpick some great ones. The gravel came free with the free tank and had never been used. Mimicking the layout of my own tank, I placed a tall rock in the back left corner and other large stones in the mid-ground to help slope the scape. I also incorporated two pieces of Malaysian driftwood, one in back and one in the mid-ground, just like in my tank. Then I finished off with some round river stones in the foreground. For plants, I simply grabbed some Anubias and Java fern from my own aquarium. I figured anything more delicate would probably just end up as a salad bar for the goldfish. I also added some bacopa, which I purchased at my local fish store, which is a very sturdy stem plant. Since my son wanted goldfish, I knew I needed good filtration. I chose a Hydor 250 canister filter. It was less expensive than the Rena Philstar XP1, which was my first choice, but I have to admit the Hydor does a great job. I highly recommend it. My son now has 5 fancy goldfish thriving in his aquarium. On a side note, I do not recommend goldfish as beginner fish. They actually require much more care and maintenance than most people think. But in this case, my son is under my supervision, and he's not exactly a novice, as he's been helping me with my fish for years. For my daughter's setup, she had very specific ideas of what she wanted. The theme was black. No, she's not goth, far from it. She simply wanted a dark tank to better highlight the fauna and flora. Her tank frame and lid are black. My wife and I bought a black stand for the tank. I picked up some black and gray stones from the same local rock and soil company. And since my daughter wanted a planted tank with something other than Anubias and Java fern, we chose Seachem's fluorite black sand as the substrate. It's nutrient rich enough for the plants, the coolies can burrow into it without harm, and the frogs won't get scratched up by it. You can rinse the fluorite black sand before you put it in your tank if you want to. We actually decided not to do that. We just let the water be cloudy for a bit while the tank was cycling. The stones were all selected and placed by my daughter, with plenty of hiding places for the coolies and a big flat stone in front where the frogs could feed. For plants, my daughter liked the look of Vallisneria along the back and a clump of Cryptocorin in the mid-ground. Filtration is handled by a hang-on-back filter for a gentle flow that won't disturb the frogs. It's just a simple top fin HOV filter, but it does a surprisingly good job. In addition to the frogs and loaches, we just recently introduced a dozen male Endler's live bearers given to us by someone we know locally, who had more than she knew what to do with. I'll let my daughter tell you the full story on her tank in another video. It's been an adventure. But new tanks isn't the only thing I wanted to update you guys on. One of the reasons you haven't seen a lot of videos on the Aquatasy channel this past month is because my wife and I have been knee-deep in contractors. We've been renovating the backyard and remodeling the garage. We tore out a fence that divided the backyard into 2 sections, opening it up into a much more pleasant space. We also picked up some great patio furniture that my wife found being sold at a closeout price. Our terraced backyard was too difficult for my mother-in-law to navigate with her walkers, so we had a concrete ramp put in, plus some concrete poured in other areas to make some fixes. There will also be turf in the backyard when the project is finished. No koi pond, but my wife said yes to some sort of water feature. The main thing is the garage, which we are converting into a home office and studio space for us. First thing we had to do was clear out as much stuff as we possibly could out of this garage. Some went to storage, some went to places like Goodwill, and some to the dump. After an interior crew prepped the inside, a roofing crew worked outside to repair the dry rot issues and lay down a new roof. Once that was completed, the interior crew returned to finish wiring, insulating, and sheetrocking the inside. So this will be our new home office, with my desk right back here in this back right corner, with my computer and all that stuff, all the things that I use to produce the videos for you guys. And then up against this wall, we're going to have a green screen, which my wife and I and our kids are going to use to shoot videos for our various channels here on YouTube. Now the only thing I haven't updated you on is this tank right here. It is in serious need of a major overhaul. It may look nice to you, but you know, looks can be deceiving. Actually, this tank is kind of like a movie set. When you're working in film or television, sets, costumes, and props are actually only designed to look good on camera. You'd be surprised how different they look in person. Well, this tank is kind of like that. From your point of view, with the tank facing towards the camera and from a certain distance away, it may look like a happy, lush environment. But if I were to take the camera and move it around to the side, you can see that it is almost completely overgrown with a nubius in front, leaving very little room for the fish to swim. The plants don't grow quite as thick in back, so that's where the fish end up hanging out. Not good for tetras who like to have some room to swim, and not good for my angelfish who has to carefully maneuver and navigate the space. So either I have to issue tiny machetes to the fish so they can hack their way through the foliage, or I have to clear the forest so they can swim freely. And if you want to see what this tank actually looked like before it got completely overgrown, check out a video I did called the 20-Gallon Odyssey. Long story short, this tank is going to change soon, and I'm going to ask for your input on what to do with it. You can help me decide if I should prune it back, do a partial rescape, or do a complete makeover. You'll get to vote in an upcoming video. And speaking of upcoming videos, we got a new contest coming your way with big prizes, guest judges, and lots of creativity, so stay tuned for that. If this is your first time watching an Aquatasy video, I encourage you to check out some of our other videos. If you like what you're seeing on this channel and you're not yet a subscriber to Aquatasy, I hope you'll consider subscribing. In fact, I wanted to let you know that we're very close to getting 1,000 subscribers here on the Aquatasy channel, which is amazing and overwhelming and very, very humbling. So my goal is to see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so that on December 31st at the stroke of midnight, we have 1,000 subscribers to the Aquatasy channel. Not so I can strut around and go, hey, look at me, I've got 1,000 subscribers. No, that's not the point. The point is that we build this community here of fish tank fanatics on YouTube, that we keep the conversation going, that we keep sharing information back and forth with each other for this hobby that we all love so much. That's the point of it. I want to see this channel grow, I want to see your channel grow, I want to see all the channels grow. So if you know somebody who's not yet a subscriber, or if you're not yet a subscriber of the Aquatasy channel, please subscribe. Let's see if we can get to that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. If for some reason you find that you've got this overwhelming, strange desire to learn more about me as a visual effects artist, an animator, and actor, and performer, and all the other odd things that I do, you can go to my other channel, which is C. Andrew Nelson, or you can go to candrewnelson.com, where you'll find all the latest info about what I'm doing professionally, as well as a list of my upcoming appearances and lectures and teaching and all that stuff. Or if you have an interest in learning about the business of visual effects and animation, which is what I do when I'm not sitting in front of a camera or standing behind a microphone or converting a garage into an office, you can go to my other channel, which is Teaching Spot, or you can go to teachingspot.com. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you excuse me, I have a fish room, home office to paint, new videos on Thursdays. And until next time, blessings to you.
Yak, yak, yak. Hey, how about clearing out the jungle here?
Is he even still out there?
How should I know? I can't see anything with all these plants in the way.
Hello? Hello? Are you still out there? Yoo. Can you feed us? Hello?